dozen people on Earth who sit where he sits, commanding a 100,000-ton warship, two nuclear reactors, and 5,000 souls. He has a roomy main cabin he rarely uses, a tiny sea cabin he calls home during deployment, a private mess with a personal chef, and unlimited hot water while sailors ration every drop. Today we go inside his life, where he sleeps, how he showers, and the strange rituals behind every meal. Who is this guy? Before we step inside his cabin, there's something you need to understand about this man, because the person we're about to follow isn't a regular officer. He's one of the rarest commanders in the entire United States military. There are only about 11 of them in the world at any given time. To even sit in that chair, he's spent nearly 3 decades climbing the ranks. He's flown combat missions. He's commanded smaller ships. He's been tested in ways most people will never imagine, because he is the only one responsible for a 100,000-ton warship, 4.5 acres of flight deck, more than 90 aircraft, and 2 nuclear reactors producing roughly 700 megawatts of power. That's enough electricity to light up a city of 100,000 people, and every single one of those 5,000 sailors answers to him. Now let's see where this man actually lays his head down at night. The captain's cabin. His main cabin sits on the O3 level, port side, forward. Picture this: hardwood furniture, leather chairs, a private bedroom, a sitting area, a personal bathroom, and a small office attached. It's roughly 400 to 500 square feet of quiet, private space, almost the size of a small apartment. But here's the strange part: he hardly uses it, because hidden directly behind the bridge is a second cabin, smaller, tighter, roughly 100 to 150 square feet. The Navy calls it the sea cabin, and during deployment, that's where he actually lives. Why? Because in an emergency, he has to be on the bridge in under 30 seconds, no time for stairs, no time for hallways. During a 6 to 9 month deployment, he averages just 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night, sometimes broken into 90-minute chunks, a nice cabin he barely sees, a closet he never leaves. Now imagine waking up in that tiny room, and the first thing he does next will surprise you. On an aircraft carrier, water isn't just water, it's currency, and the captain is the only man on board who spends it freely. Every drop of fresh water on that ship is manufactured from seawater. 2 nuclear-powered desalination plants run around the clock, producing roughly 400,000 gallons of fresh water every single day. Sounds like a lot, but with thousands of people on board, it disappears fast in constant laundry, cooking, and even the steam catapults launching jets. So the Navy uses something called water hours. When water gets tight, every enlisted sailor takes what's called a Navy shower. Water on, get wet, water off, soap up, water on, rinse, water off. The whole thing uses about 3 to 5 gallons total. Some sailors go 2 or 3 days without a real shower during high-tempo operations, but not the captain. His private bathroom sits attached to his cabin, just 50 feet from the bridge. He got no water restrictions, no timers, and no Navy shower drills. Just hot water, full pressure, whenever he wants it. A single shower for him uses an estimated 15 to 25 gallons, roughly 5 times what a regular sailor gets. Fresh towels every morning, laundered by his personal staff, delivered to his cabin. Lucky? Nah, he has been through the ladder. But the real luxury isn't in his bathroom. It's waiting for him. You're about to find out something most people will never believe about how this man eats. It's not just food, it's a ritual, and the numbers behind it are staggering. This carrier serves 18,000 meals every single day. Down on the mess decks, sailors stand in line for 45 minutes for a 20-minute meal. They eat fast. They eat standing if seats run out. They eat whatever the galley made that day. The galley burns through 2,800 pounds of meat, 6,000 eggs, and 1,400 pounds of vegetables every 24 hours. But the captain? He doesn't see any of that. He doesn't stand in line. He doesn't even walk to a cafeteria. A carrier starts each deployment loaded with 2.5 million pounds of food. Behind a locked door next to his cabin sits the captain's mess, a private dining room with engraved silverware and china plates and cloth napkins stamped with the ship's seal. The captain has a personal chef, usually an E6 or E7 culinary specialist, assigned only to him. Once he picks his menu, eggs cooked to order, fresh squeezed juice, custom omelets at 5 a.m., and remember that food taster hint from earlier? Every plate is inspected and sampled by his staff before it ever reaches him. His meal budget runs 3 to 4 times what a regular sailor gets. All right, you've seen the perks. Now here's the part the Navy doesn't show in recruiting videos. The silver plates and private chef come with a price tag most people couldn't pay, and that price is something money can't buy back. The captain works 18 to 20 hours every single day during operations. Think about that for a second. While you're sleeping, he's awake. While you're eating dinner, he's making decisions that could end lives. He gets maybe 90 seconds of true personal time between one critical choice and the next. One such example is Captain Dave Snowden. In February 2025, his aircraft carrier, the USS Harry S. Truman, collided with a merchant ship near the Suez Canal. 8 days later, the Navy fired him. The official reason? Loss of confidence in his ability to command. A 30-year career, gone in a week. One mistake. That's all it takes. And Snowden isn't alone. In 2020, Captain Brett Crozier was relieved of command of the USS Theodore Roosevelt after writing a letter pleading for help during a COVID outbreak on his ship. Even though his crew chanted his name as he walked off the gangplank, the Navy never reinstated him. The Chief of Naval Operations effectively ended his career. Back in 2011, Captain Owen Honors of the USS Enterprise was permanently fired over inappropriate videos he had made years earlier. Decades of service, wiped out overnight. That's how thin the wire is. He's personally responsible for $13 billion in equipment, 2 nuclear reactors, 90-plus aircraft, and roughly 5,000 American lives. The average carrier captain serves in that chair for only 18 to 24 months before rotating out. And getting there? Nearly impossible. By federal law, a U.S. carrier captain must be a qualified naval aviator or naval flight officer. He spent 25 to 30 years climbing, flying combat missions, commanding a squadron, finishing Navy nuclear power training, serving as a carrier executive officer first. He had to pass the Aviation Major Command Screen Board, where most candidates are cut. The average carrier captain serves in the chair for just 18 to 24 months before rotating out. And getting there? Nearly impossible. Only about 1% of Naval Academy graduates ever reach this position. He spent 25 to 30 years climbing, flying combat missions, commanding smaller ships, surviving every cut along the way. More people have walked on the surface of the moon than have ever commanded the USS Nimitz. 12 astronauts, just around 20 captains in over 50 years of that ship's service. That's how rare this chair is. He earns every bite of that steak, every minute of hot water, every hour in that cabin, because the moment something goes wrong on his watch, history won't remember the silver plates. It'll remember his name. He's got the best room, the best food, the best view. He's also got the weight of 5,000 lives on his shoulders every second of every day. Power always comes with a price.